All right, welcome back to another episode of Conversations in Queen West. Today I'm joined by Stefan Lupel, member of my team. We're located here in Queen West and we service all of Toronto. So let's roll right into it.
Absolutely.
Right now we're in a timestamp of end of September. So we have about 3 months left in the rest of this year in 2025. Maybe we can do a little talk about sort of a market update, where we're at. There's been some changes in interest rates. There's been some changes in the market. We're also going to touch base on just a few questions that we have for each other. And yeah, so that's kind of the episode.
Just a little bit about where we're at in the market right now. We're in the heart of the fall market, and seasonally it should be busy time of year. A lot of more people deciding to move at this time.
Yeah, because like typically we see sort of a little pickup September, kids go back to school. We kind of see a little bit of a pickup in the market. People want to get a place before the snow flies.
People are out there. I'm working with people, you're working with people. There's definitely an appetite for people that do want to move. And then, of course, we still constantly run into the issue of sellers who are not realistic on their prices, as we know.
So why aren't they being realistic on their price? Like, where are we at timestamp right now? September 30th?
September 29th, yeah.
September 29th, sorry.
Exactly. And I think just it's really a matter of like what position is the seller in to decide whether they want to drop their price or not. There's a different dynamic if you have a family that needs to upgrade their home versus an investor who's holding the condo and just wants to sell it and doesn't want to have to rent out the property again.
Right.
Totally different things that we have to be thinking about.
Right.
And I'm talking about this with my buyers right now, just walking them through where the opportunities might be. Because really, I look at this period of time as opportunity.
Yeah.
Especially from a buyer's mindset.
Yeah.
Especially even more from a first-time buyer's mindset who doesn't have to sell a property in order to move.
Because we are sitting with a ton of inventory.
So much.
First-time home buyers, typically they're looking for condos or maybe, a small townhouse.
Yeah.
So, tons of options right now in the marketplace. So why would a first-time home buyer jump now? If you were to give advice to a first-time home buyer, why would you tell them to go now?
I really look at this period of time as like prices are becoming more affordable for that first-time buyer entry-level person. In 5 to 10 years from now, we might not see this affordability return ever again.
Yeah.
And so I would really say strategically, if you are thinking of owning real estate or have ambitions to, be a homeowner, this year, next year might be your period of time where it's kind of like a golden era opportunity. I look at it that way.
Right.
Right.
So listings are up, competition is down, prices are down. I mean, it's for a first-time home buyer getting into the market, it's kind of like, this is your opportunity. This is the perfect storm.
Yep.
Right.
And as you mentioned earlier, we did see a rate cut over the past couple of weeks.
Yep.
So like
Quarter point.
Interest rates, where they're at right now, I think they're fair.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't anticipate to get even, much lower than this, guys. Like, this is rate where probably the neutral rate of interest rates should be for a balanced market.
Right. Because they're talking about doing another rate cut at the end of October. I think it's October 30th. So another month from now. And rate announcement. I'm not going to say rate cut, but rate announcement. So what's your prediction on that?
I expect another quarter point cut sometime this year.
Yep.
Whether that's going to be, in November or in December, whatever it may be. I do expect another quarter point.
Right. But then that's it.
That's probably it. Like,
what you're saying, right?
Like, I agree. That's probably the most likely scenario. Some people are calling for like 2 cuts this year of a quarter point each.
Right.
I'm not in that camp, but who knows, right? Like, I don't know exactly all the mechanics of the economy. All that we can do is just, have a best guess, because we've been in this industry for, 8, 10 years. We've seen ups and downs in the market and the volatility that comes with it. I just think based upon affordability levels, like, you just run the math on numbers on monthly payments. When you look at mortgage calculations, 20% down, most people that I'm working with are working with a 20% down payment.
Right.
They've been able to save that up over the years because they've had, good situations with maybe lower rents, and they're good savers. They have good jobs. They have that. So I think if you have the ability to purchase a home, or at least have goals to purchase a home, start thinking about it more seriously over the next year or two. Like, you'll thank yourself.
And as these interest rates, go down,
Mhm.
affordability obviously is there, but now you're starting to see the balance of the rental market versus the buying market. So, if you're paying, call it $3,000 a month for your rental, maybe you should look at on the buy side because you can potentially own a property for the same price.
Absolutely. And I was even running some numbers on a real life scenario where one of my clients, we were initially looking for a rental condo, 2 bedroom, 2 bath. And in the area that we were looking in, let's say the numbers are roughly 3,500 a month to rent a 2 bed, 2 bath with parking. We had the conversation of, well, what would the monthly cost be to purchase that condo? And this would be roughly like an $800,000 condo, mind you, like larger than a 20% down payment factoring into that. The monthly payment would be somewhere around the 3,800 mark. So if you have the option of buying a condo and it's going to cost you 3,800 a month, renting a condo is going to cost you $3,500 a month. We're talking a $300 difference on price, but you get to own an asset like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, it starts to make a lot more sense when you just start thinking about what are my goals really financially.
$3,800 a month.
Yeah.
That's like $45,000 a year.
Yes,
You do that for 3 years, you're at almost $150,000.
absolutely.
That's a big chunk of change.
Absolutely. And let's not forget, over the period of time, if you do decide to purchase it, you're still paying down the mortgage, you're building equity for your future. It's kind of like a forced savings plan that will help you get to whatever next stage you're at in life, whether you want to upgrade your property or use that equity to buy a business or whatever financial goals you have. Like, this is your opportunity to actually take advantage of that period of time.
Yeah, I agree. So if you want some more information on how to get into the market as a first-time home buyer, we've left a few links in the description. Just head down there, click on that, and fill out the form, and we'll reach out to you and get started. Okay, I got a question for you.
Nice.
This isn't really a real estate question. This is a little bit different,
I
but
love off questions.
so obviously we're scrolling through reels, socials, whatever you use these days, TikToks, and there's influencers out there. So I'm curious, who are some of the influencers that you're following? And it doesn't have to be business related; it could be something else, could be hobby related. But who would an influencer out there be that you should be watching out for in 2026 as we roll into the new year?
There's honestly so many. Obviously, we follow people all over social media, different channels, what have you. But one person that sticks out to me, because I gain a lot from him, his name is Scott Galloway.
Okay.
Maybe some of you heard of him before. I mostly follow him on YouTube now because he has multiple podcasts. One of the podcasts is called Prof G Markets. It is more of a business-minded podcast because it delves into financial markets, investments. I mean, at the end of the day, Scott Galloway, he's actually a professor, but he is also a business guy, investor. He's started many private equity companies, sold it off to other bigger companies.
We'll throw to a picture of this guy so people can see, but Scott Galloway.
Scott Galloway, yeah,
I'm
exactly.
seeing a marketing professor, entrepreneur, author, podcast host. Okay, so he seems like a well-educated business guy.
For sure.
Right.
But not only is he like successful financially and in everything that he does, he's just a really, really excellent communicator. Like, he has mastered the art of communication. He's a marketing guy at the end of the day, so of course he has that skill set, but more so than other marketers that I follow online, he's able to communicate his point in just brilliant way. Like, you hear this guy talk and like you can tell, like, wow, like he clearly knows how to write, clearly knows how to articulate his opinion and develop relationships with like high level people. He can go into any room and just like command the room. His energy is just like palpable, right?
Cool.
He's that type of personality.
So I like that. I'll check him out.
Yeah.
And he has a podcast on YouTube.
Yeah.
I'll answer that same question. One podcast that I've been really getting into lately is Diary of a CEO.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, the guests that he brings on, some of them are just, incredible. You can learn so many different things. If you have questions about, I was wondering about the stock market and where is that going in 2026 or 2025, 26. Jumped on there, watched a really good pod on ARC. I forget the lady's name that owns.
Oh yes, I
Arc.
know ARC. Yeah, ARC.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
She's very bullish.
Kathy Wood.
Kathy Wood.
Kathy Wood. We love
She's
Kathy
very
Wood.
bullish
Yeah.
on Tesla. She's
Yeah.
the expectation from her firm is that Tesla would get up to like 2,600 a share or something like that, where they're sitting at like
Okay.
4 or something right now. So
Okay.
yeah, it was interesting, but yeah, so that's definitely one I would check out. Diary of the CEO if you haven't seen that. We'll throw the link down in the bio as well.
Sure. Yeah. No, they throw their podcast on a lot of the short form as well. Like I see their stuff in TikTok and Instagram as well. So yeah, they're definitely a popular one.
Shout out to Opus Clip.
Opus Clip. Hey man, everybody's doing it. We're doing a podcast too, and we're gonna cut it up into clips as well. You know
Feel
it.
free to sponsor us, Opus Clip.
Yeah, we're here for you, Opus Clip. Absolutely. I'm a subscriber to you as well, so we all use it. There you go. Okay, so another question that I have for you, kind of real estate related, but kind of also like just thinking a little bit differently for a second, because I mean, we view properties for a living. And sometimes you walk into certain condos and their floor plans, you kind of wonder, like, it's head scratching, like, who planned this, right? Like, who the hell gave the stamp of approval
I have
on this floor plan?
We just recently leased out a unit. I won't say which one it is, but every person that went into the unit said, who decided on this floor plan?
Terrible,
Yeah.
terrible. And so the question that I have that I thought about recently, should the city of Toronto consult with realtors when approving floor plans for condos? Or even if it's not the city's responsibility, like the planning department within a developer's company,
Yeah.
should they consult with people like us who are actually working closely with buyers and how they perceive what a good property is? Like, should they consult with us?
I feel like, you know, there's no one answer to it. I feel like, you know, based on a development, it could be in a certain area, it could be a certain density, height density, right? You know, depending on the shape of the property and what you have to fit into that property is also going to dictate how the floor plan is. I also feel like, you know, when developers are building these, they are trying to maximize the square footage as much as possible. And
it's build to sell. The model for developers is build to sell.
So, you know, if they need to, you know, make one room have, you know, a piece of the wall jut out a little bit, that was one of the things that in the unit that we had leased, you couldn't put a couch on the one wall where you should have put a couch because there was a little piece of drywall that jut out from the wall. So I was like, well, that's silly. Why would they do that? Right. So
Useless.
I definitely feel like there could be some more thought put into it, but you also feel like the people that are building these, or the, you know, the developers, the architects, you know, they are like trained in this. So like, how are we better than them? Right. So it's an interesting, I do feel like they should consult realtors more on that, or I guess maybe just the general public, because I mean, it doesn't seem like rocket science. Right.
Something has to change. That's all I'm gonna say, and we can leave it at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, it's just something that I think about all the time, because it's so hard to even find the good floor plan layouts now, right? Like, you have to filter through so much BS to find livable.
So on that note, do you believe that, or do you think that they should still make bedrooms with interior sliding doors? You know, we've all seen those floor plans or those bedrooms where they have the interior sliding door and it's opaque. So it allows, or it's translucent, so it allows the light still through, but technically it's not really a window, and it's kind of a door. So like, should they allow those?
Honestly, this might be another Ontario building code thing that needs some review.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like, it's an issue that I think needs to be addressed in terms of like, I think we should allow interior bedrooms to like have a proper door for privacy, because on most people, they probably want some privacy in their bedroom. You know, and like, I get it, like, you have to still have the natural light to meet Ontario building code, and it's a zoning thing that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
I just think that at this point, like, I know the tricky things architecturally about planning the layouts, and I know some bedrooms are not going to have a window, and that's okay. I think you should still just build the bedroom with a proper swing open door, put up drywall, give it some privacy, or at least if you're going to do glass, make the glass opaque, or it needs to have some sort of privacy in the second bedroom. Because what I'm noticing is there's a large demographic of, maybe the like growing demographic of people that like want to live in that is roommates. Like there's a definite need, the way that Toronto is going, for like roommate housing situations.
Yeah.
And when you're having roommates in a condo, you're going to need to give the roommates some privacy.
Yeah.
The sliding glass is an immediate no for the roommate people.
Yeah.
So that's what I think.
Okay.
A different question. Let's go a different route now. Local business question, actually, specifically in Toronto. Should Toronto give tax breaks or rent controls to help independent businesses survive in a crushing commercial rent real estate market?
It's a great question.
Hmm.
I don't know if I'm even equipped to answer.
I'm not even equipped to answer it either, but I'm putting it out there.
Should they incentivize businesses? Yes. I mean, I feel like if you have a legitimate business, like there's a lot of businesses that are prevalent along Queen Street West here that are, your vape shops or your like weed stores. Like, I don't necessarily think that we need to have 38 weed stores.
We shouldn't subsidize those. Agreed.
But yeah, there's definitely, I mean, I think there could be a case for some businesses to be subsidized for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Whether that's, I think either whether that be the city or some sort of nonprofit groups, NGOs that are able to give some sort of maybe like low-cost financing loans to those businesses. Or I mean, like I said, I think property taxes on like maybe more unique businesses that add to the character of a neighborhood, whether that's like a cafe or some sort of like more creative outlet, or even just a restaurant that like actually adds character or value to the community.
Yeah.
Property taxes should be lower on
I
that.
mean, but then
know?
you start getting into this debate of like, well, who should get that and who shouldn't? And why did they get it and why didn't this business get it, right? Like, because then you're like, well, this is important to me, but it might not be important to someone else, right? So
Maybe the
kind of
little
open up a
It's
can of worms.
it is a can of worms. Maybe, yeah, like every community, like the BIAs, that's more like a business improvement area for those that don't know what a BIA is. Most communities around Toronto have BIAs, and maybe something that question could be posed in the BIA community or forum to see like what matters to the community more.
Yeah.
And if the people that live in the neighborhood support that idea, then they can talk about it with the city council rep. Something along those lines. That could work. Okay.
In terms of like density, we're becoming more and more dense in Toronto as they build more condos and, more people are coming into the city. This chatter all around turning some streets into pedestrian-only streets. I guess on certain times, like Kensington Market, they do that like on Sundays or every second or what is it, once a month or something like that.
Pedestrian
They do
Sundays,
pedestrian only.
for sure.
Do you believe that they should have more pedestrian-only streets in, various streets in the city?
I think we'll eventually get to that point. Yeah. Because I think as it is, there's so many people that walk and don't own vehicles in certain downtown locations that it might just make sense to just not allow cars on certain streets.
You're gonna
in
piss
certain
off a lot
downtown.
of drivers right now.
It's gonna piss off. I'm a driver myself, guys, so I feel I can relate to it.
But I
deal
think
with
there's
Toronto
like
traffic.
there's certain streets that it would make sense. And like, let's just throw one out there, for instance, like, they've kind of done it on King Street.
They have kind of done it on King.
Wellington, that new stretch where the well is, like, especially on the weekends, let's say, where there's, a lot more foot traffic, there's a lot of people walking, really, does it matter if you can cut down Wellington with your car? No. Maybe they block off a certain portion of it so you're still able to park in, the downstairs parking lots that they have in the well, but, shutting a street down like that, for instance, that could be,
I think there'd be enough support to shut down. Yeah, that strip between like Spadina and Bathurst.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
I think it would make sense.
I mean, I feel like with all the construction that happens in the city and also, every weekend it seems like there's a new event, they shut down streets all the time.
They do. Like we're so used to it.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to make some like that strip of King or that strip of Wellington,
Yeah.
an all pedestrian street would make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I mean, if like I know the businesses around there think that like, oh, if you don't allow cars here, you're gonna we're not gonna have enough business to survive. But I would counter and say like, but probably most of your business is coming from like people that are just walking to your business.
Yeah.
Or scootering to your business. There's those scooters, those crazy radicals out
Guilty.
there, right? So like, I mean, hey, like that's what I mean. Most of the people that are actually adding revenues to your business, they're not driving to your business.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I'd say.
Okay. Anything else you want to chat about?
What time are we at right now? 20 minutes. Let's try to wrap it up, I think. Okay.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming out to the office today and working on this podcast with me. And if anyone out there wants some more information on Toronto real estate, or you just want to chat, throw down a comment or jump into our description. We have a lot of links in there, and we'll see you on the next time.
Yeah, if you enjoyed this podcast, be sure to share and subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.